15 minutes of truth. Let's get into the mix. Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Daily Mix. I'm your host, Omari Jahi. Look, we've been building a foundation lately here on the Mix, man, talking about the math of our souls and the geometry of our cycles. Today we're talking about death, reincarnation, and what really happens when we die. We're diving into reincarnation and everlasting life. But I want to shift your vantage point a little bit. Most people think that we are human beings who might have a spirit or a soul. I want to suggest the opposite. We are spiritual beings experiencing a human existence. You are supposed to be the driver of this fleshly vehicle. If this life is a classroom, and it is, what happens when the school bell rings at the end of our lives and class is let out? If you've mastered the curriculum, you move on to everlasting life. But if you fail the test, do you really think the universe lets you drop out? Or are you headed back to the first grade in a different uniform? Huh? Let's jump right into the mix, y'all. So look, the body is a biological suit designed specifically for the atmosphere of this planet Earth. It has an expiration date. This flesh does. But the pilot inside, you and me, the spiritual beings who we actually are, we don't have an expiration date. Death is simply the spirit outgrowing the suit, or outliving the suit, I should say. When we understand that we are spiritual beings first, the fear of the end disappears and is replaced by a great responsibility of the now. Because see, right now, we're supposed to be learning. We're supposed to learn every day something new. We're supposed to evolve. We're supposed to be growing as spiritual beings, fusing our spirituality with this human flesh. We aren't here just to pay bills. Come on, man. You think just to be a bus driver, that's God gave you life just to be a bus driver, right? And then die? No. We are here to learn specific spiritual lessons. Patience is one, selflessness, love, stewardship, and this the main one. Self-mastery, mastering this flesh. If you haven't mastered the lessons of the 360-degree cycle, this life cycle, the universe, in its infinite patience, just sends you back. Reincarnation is really being placed back into the flesh to face and learn the same lessons you failed to learn last time. You might have a different name, a different family, or a different suit, but the spiritual test remains identically the same until you pass it. Now, let me be really clear. When you are reincarnated into this newborn baby, your spiritual umbilical cord, which is that soft spot in the top of the baby's head, when that soft spot hardens, then you are spiritually disconnected from the knowledge you knew of your prior lives. And only then are you able to begin to speak. Have you noticed how babies are always trying to say something? They be fussing and you don't know what the heck they be talking about. They ain't speaking. I don't know what language they speaking. But the thing is, because that spiritual umbilical cord is still connected to the Creator, You aren't allowed to speak. Just imagine what that baby would say if they could speak about zillions and trillions of eons of life existence that they've experienced, what they could tell you. But babies aren't able to speak until that soft spot hardens up. And then they're able to form words and be able to communicate. Everlasting life isn't just something that happens to everybody by default. I know the scripture says we are to have everlasting life, but there's something you got to do to get it. It's the graduation for the spirit that has completed the earthly requirements. When you learn the lessons, you are no longer needed. Oh, well, maybe I should say you don't really need this little cycle thing that we keep going through on this earth. You transcend that cycle and you enter into a state of permanent consciousness. And if you, again, pass the test while in the flesh, you can take this flesh with you. And that's a whole nother conversation about, because if you remember Medgar Evers, you know, when they dug up his grave, he almost looked like he had just died. Whole nother conversation. But there's no boundaries by which the limitations or the repetitions of this flesh holds us anymore once we pass that test. If you knew you had to have to keep repeating this life over and over again until you got it right, would you change how you treat people and how you treat knowledge, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding today? Would you work a little harder on your character? The goal is to move from survival to mastery. We should all be aiming for the exit, getting this thing right and getting up out of here. Now, out of a desire to lead, but out of the desire to finally graduate. Now, I don't know if you all really are comprehending what I'm saying. You can, I don't even know, because see, if you don't post a question or anything, some people are watching and they can watch. It's almost like a blind email, you know. You don't have, we don't even know you on here and you could be watching. But if I'm not being clear about something, please type in a question, your question into the comment section. It'll come up on the screen and I'll see it. And I have no problems answering your question or relating to your comment if you have a comment. You know, so you're an eternal being. We spiritual beings do not die. You and I are spiritual beings. This is why when I go to funerals, you know, a lot of times I shake my head because people don't really understand this thing called death. There's no such thing as death. It's in the scripture. Jesus conquered death. You know what that was saying? When it said that Jesus conquered death, it's saying that he learned the lessons, the physical lessons of planet Earth, this cycle. He learned the lessons. He went to school here on Earth and he graduated. And so he conquered death. He didn't have to die and keep coming back, die and keep coming back, die and keep coming back. He didn't have to deal with that. And a lot of people can't wrap their heads around this, you know, because this is something that is never, I mean, I don't know anybody that teaches this. Right now, you go to church, I don't know if there are some spiritual people out here that are teaching this kind of teaching, bravo. You know, but if we understood this thing called death, then we would be more cognizant, I believe, of trying our best to learn the lessons of life so that we wouldn't have to keep dying and coming back. This resurrection thing. And just to kind of prove it to you, this thing called deja vu. Deja vu is, I don't know what people say it is, but deja vu is nothing but flashes of your prior lives flashing itself to you when you find yourself in a like kind of situation that you was in a prior life. Then it's like, oh man, I did this before, or I've been here before, or something to that effect. That's kind of proof positive that what I'm trying to tell you is truth and it's actual. So we got about 4 more minutes and I'm gonna kind of close it out. You are an eternal being, again, currently wearing a suit made from dust. God created us out of the dust of the ground, right? So don't get so caught up in the suit. And when your loved ones transition, don't get all caught up in the car. I mean, when you have a car and your car gets totaled or gets into an accident and you have to send it to the junkyard, you don't stand there at the junkyard crying over the car. That's what I see when I go to funerals. I see people crying over the car. And the real person, the real you, ain't even in there. They go to the cemetery. It's like going to the junkyard to put flowers over the car, the junked car. Come on, people, we got to do better. They say when you know better, you do better. Don't get so caught up in the suit that you forgot or forget to educate the pilot. We feed this suit, but we need to feed our spiritual beings as well with spiritual food, knowledge. If you're tired of the cycle, if you're tired of the deja vu, of your own mistakes, then it's time to study the lesson. Don't just live to die, live to graduate. Because everlasting life, y'all, is waiting for every last one of us who finally passes the test. I'm Omari Jahi, y'all, and this has been the Daily Mix for your third eye only. Keep your mind sharp, keep your spirit grounded. Now I'll catch you in the next mix, y'all. Peace out.
Take care of your mind, take care of your health, and we'll be back in the mix tomorrow at 12 noon. Till then, peace out.